So what we're going to do today, we're going to do an owner's class, and I'm going to teach you how to operate your new Solaris, okay? And there's a lot of really cool features, and we'll be talking about all of those as well. So what I'm going to do first, and this is basic stuff, but I think it's important to do, and I'm going to wind a bobbin on the Solaris. So this lever right up here at the top of the machine, that's where you can adjust how full the bobbin. It has several little clicks in it. Maybe you don't want a full bobbin, but that's how you can wind a bobbin and adjust how much thread goes on the bobbin. So I'm using this thread right here, and I'm just going to bring it down. When you first come down, you want to come down around your number 2, just like if you're going to do regular threading. Okay. Comes down and back this way. Okay. Then it's going to come through this right here, and you go left, you go right to left. Okay, right there. Then you're going to go around this in a clockwise direction. And just so you know, if you have the Altair, this works the same way this step does. And then I'm going to put a bobbin on here. And what I'm going to do, let me get my, oh, that was almost an empty bobbin. Come here, you. Okay. So I'm going to wrap around here in a clockwise direction about 5 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to pull it into the little groove right down here, and there's a blade in there. It'll cut the thread right there. Now it's set. I'm going to engage the lever, and then on my screen, it will pop up. Move the camera down here where you can see it. Okay. And this adjusts the winding speed. I'm going to leave it up full and hit start. And then it is going to wind the bobbin. You can see it moving, hopefully. And I have it up all the way in the fullest position. So you've probably heard me say it before, winding a bobbin is one of my least favorite things to do. It's a monotonous task. So the bobbin's wound. Set this back up. Then I'm just going to lift it up and take my thread right here and cut it right there like that. And I have me a bobbin. Okay. Now in the real world, if I'm piecing a quilt, because this is my piecing thread I like to piece with, I'll probably wind 10 bobbins in a row, so I don't have to take a break and do it later. Now, once you wound your bobbin, it's time to thread the machine. Luckily for those of us that have a baby lock machine, right here, printed on the face of the machine, are the actual threading instructions. It's at least a schematic on how to properly do it. It's all numbered. So here's number 1. You can see the number 1 right there. We're going to go up like that. Then we're going to bring it around this way, because there's number 2, and we're going to come down the front of the machine. Okay, we're going to come right down here. Then here is number 3. 3, and it goes up. It's going to go up to number 4. Then we're going to go down here to number 5, which is right there. Here's 6 on the needle bar. I'm moving my camera so you can see it. There we go. Number 6. This little cut right here, this little groove, there's number 7, and it goes right there. And it goes in between this little ridge. Let me get my little something to point with. Right there. And then the thread cutter up here on the side is number 8. Okay, right there. Oops. There you go. And just pull it towards you. And then you're ready. The thing I love about my Solaris and my Altair is this button. You push it, and then it threads it. When you hold a bobbin and you look at it, okay, we're going to look at it in this direction. If you were looking right at it, you can see that tail comes down and it makes what I call the letter P. Okay? Belock sewing machines, that's the direction it goes. You do not turn it down and insert it like that where it makes the letter 9. See right here, 9 and the tail comes down. So just that's an easy way to remember which way they go in, just without having to look at any directions or anything. The letter P, tail, yes. 9, no. The letter P, yes. So when I go back to the other camera, you're able to see here, here's my thread, and it's in the position of making the letter P right there. And it just drops in, you bring it around, just like on the other machines, and you thread it in and cut it. Okay. Then this just slides right back on. One thing to remember, and anything you want to do to this machine as far as cleaning it, winding the bobbins, go to the little question mark up here at the top and hit that. It's also where there are videos. Your actual manual for the machine, for the Solaris, is built into the machine. The machine does not come with a printed manual. So, operation guide, sewing guide, pattern explanation, video, and the app guide. The app guide will show you how to install the app so that you can monitor the embroidery progress on the Solaris. So, under pattern explanation, if we remember that, let's say pattern 1-01, you want to know what that does, hit the question mark at the top, hit pattern explanation, and it tells you what that's all about. There's actually 7 pages that talks about the 1-01 straight stitch. Okay, it's all right there at your fingertips. So what we were going to look at though was bobbin winding, right? We just did bobbin winding. So go to your video and look right here, right at the top under basic operation, there is a bobbin. When you click on that, it's gonna play a little video that shows you everything to do that I just did. It'll show you the steps. There is no audio to this, but it will show you the basic steps on how to properly wind a bobbin. And you can see there they use the secondary spool, but I always use the thread stand. So that's just one little difference. You can do it this way. Either way works. So there's that. I'm just going to close that. You can go back there and watch that whenever you want to. This video here shows you how to change a needle. This shows you how to do the upper thread, change the upper thread, how to change presser feet, and how to attach this. You press in on these, and you're going to open it up. Okay, this folds up, and this will swing up and over. Okay, like so. There we go. Yes, I haven't fully cleaned my studio. That pile in front of the windows are quilts and hand-woven cloth on my ironing board. And then I'm going to telescope it all the way up. And then you can see those two places right there. That's where the magnets fit. And this is held magnetically on the lid. You never have to take the lid off of the Solaris to use the thread stand. We've attached the thread stand. Now, I'm sure you all have already figured this one out because it is so easy. To change a foot, all you do is press this button on the back. This is called the ankle. It is what actually the foot attaches to. It's called the ankle. Press it and it drops. You can just slide it out and then you can just center it back under there or any other foot. If you don't want to use the presser foot lever in the back, that's what I personally like to use to attach my feet. But if you just want to use the push button, you can line up this opening right here on the presser foot, right here, with this zigzag opening on the stitch plate. And that'll pretty much line it up where you can just press a button and attach the plate. And there you go. So anytime you want to go back to the home screen to swap sewing modes, okay, home, click on OK, and there we go. Now I have the original Solaris with the 2 kits added to it to make it the same thing as the Solaris 2. If you have just purchased the Solaris 2, you may not have this teal color. It might be a pink color. Okay, just so you know. Once you have both kits installed on your original Solaris, you have the exact same machine as the Solaris 2. Okay, so this little lock up here, let me just go back into sewing. Okay, so what that little lock does, let's say you're going to quilt, do some free motion quilting, or you're going to have a lot of fabric going through the machine that might brush up against your screen. If you hit that, after you have all your settings like you want it, hit that lock button, and then if you accidentally touch the screen, it won't do anything. It won't change your settings or anything. Very useful. If you're going to change a needle, and that's what I'm going to do next, you can see this button right up here. Oops, right here. It's a presser foot with a needle. So if I have my presser foot up, I'm going to just put that up. I'm going to press that button right here. And it just came up, OK to automatically lower the presser foot. And I'm going to click on OK. And it just lowered the foot and it blanked out the screen. It's like a ghost image on there now. But now, even if I hit the start button, touch the screen, or press on my presser foot, nothing happens. That's a safety feature so you don't accidentally push a needle through your finger. I've done that. Trust me, it's not a pleasant experience. You do not ever want to do that. It's not fun. So, super easy to do. I take our little handy dandy baby lock screwdriver and I'm just going to loosen this. So a lot of times you can just do it with your fingers. And I'm just going to pull my needle straight down. Right there like that. There's my needle. Okay. Then to insert, our needles have a rounded side and a flat side to them. So what you want to do is the flat side always goes to the back, away from you, when you insert it. And you're just going to push that up to its highest position and hand tighten that needle. Now I will snug it just a little bit with this, but I'm not going to over tighten it because there is no need to. There. So another way to tell that your needle is fully inserted. If you don't fully insert that needle, it will not form a proper stitch. What you are going to look at is right here. See if I can get it on camera. Right here is the top of my needle, right inside this slit. And you can see when it's fully inserted, the top of that needle is all the way up where it should be. Okay? Because there's an indentation right there. Oops. Let me bring that back up. Okay. But you can see right there where the end of my pointer is where that needle is butting up against, and that's what you want. That's how you can tell your needle is fully inserted. Okay. And then I'm just going to come over here. Now that I have my needle put in, attached, I'm going to hit the needle changing button, for lack of a better word. I know there's a proper word for it, it just won't come to my brain right now. And it relit my screen. The presser foot's down, the start and stop button is green for go, and it's all good. I'm going to raise my presser foot, and I'm going to now I'm going to thread my needle. How to clean the hook area on your machine and your thread cutter. I'm going to remove my foot. I'm going to remove my needle again. I'm going to pull out my thread and just run it back up here through number 7 and 8, and then it's ready to thread when I'm ready. And I am going to just open this up and set this out. Now, with this machine, there are no screws to take out on the metal plate. This lever, pull it towards you, and it just popped up. Now you can lift it up and pull it out. Okay. Let me set this down here for just a sec. I'm going to pull out my bobbin. And I'm going to take out my bobbin case, lift it up in the front, and then just slide it out. I will take my brush, and this actually needed to be cleaned, so it's a good thing I'm doing this. Okay, just clean that out. Now, you can see some fuzzy wuzzies right down here inside my case. See this? There we go. So I'm going to take that point and just gently run it around that depression. Ooh-wee. And there's some fuzzies. Now, when I took out that needle plate, it said this. Oops. Turn off the machine before attaching or removing the needle plate. That's a safety feature, and you should do that. I recommend you do that, but I just didn't do it. You can still do it without doing that. As long as you do not touch that foot pedal, you will be fine. Also, I didn't do it this time either, I always take the needle off. I'm just going to do that right now. Just a minute here. There. Now if I should hit it with my foot, there's nothing that's going to hurt myself. So, we can see there's some fuzzies in here. So I'm going to take my brush and just gently run that through there and pull out the lint. Look at the lint I've already gotten out of there. Okay. I'm going to just run my brush this way. And those bristles will actually, that lint will adhere to those bristles. Okay. Some more lint. This wasn't super linty. And then I'm going to take the tip, and there's some lint in between the teeth on my feed dogs. Just going to run them out like this to the back. I'll pick it up with the brush. I recommend if you sew every day, do this at least, as long as you do it once a week, whichever machine you're using, you're going to be fine. If you ever notice your fabric isn't feeding properly, your feed dogs, once you get a lot of lint buildup right in here, your fabric's not going to feed like it normally does. So that would definitely be a telltale sign. You need to take off the throat plate and actually clean out the hook area from lint, because it's affecting the feeding of the fabric. And then for our thread cutter, there it is. There's the mechanism. There's your blade. Right there, right up against that felt. Okay? And you just want to run that way and this way and get any debris out. You might have, you can actually sometimes threads will be caught up in these two areas, right in here and right in here. You just want to take your tweezers and pull out any thread remnants that are still down there. Now, while my hook wasn't super dirty, but look at all the lint I just got out of it. So now I'm ready to reattach everything. And the first thing is our bobbin case. Now on this bobbin case, you can see, let's see if I can, there's a white dot right here, at the end of my stylus. Right there. Just not showing real good on this little camera. And then there's a white dot right here on the metal, where the end of the pointer is right now. So when I slide it back in, the front of it up, the fabric felt, it goes towards the back. It's just going to go back underneath there. There's a lip on the metal hook, and once it's in there, you can move this back and forth just a little bit. It'll move. More importantly, what you have lined up is the white dot to white dot. Okay? Slide this back into here and press down. And now the needle plate is inserted. And I'm going to put my bobbin back in. The letter P. P isn't perfect. And I'll put in the bobbin cover. And we're going to reattach the needle. There we go. Going to reattach the needle. It's fully seated. Once I have finger tightened it, just make sure it's snug, and then I'll reattach my foot. And I will thread the needle. Okay, that's all done. But that's how easy it is. That is the proper way to clean the hook on your machine.